First Peter 13, First Peter, I forget what chapter it is, I'll get it for you later, but verses 13 through 15. I think it's, no, First Peter doesn't have 13 chapters in it. So it's 13, 15, I forgot to write down the chapter, but says, submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every authority instituted among men, whether to the king as the supreme authority or to governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong and to commend those who do right. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish men. Don't you know that marriage is an image and reflection of Christ being married to the church? When you really get down to it, Christ is married to the church. That's his bride, right? And so we are an image, and we are to represent God in that way in our own marriages. So how can you be married without having been to the authorities? More important, do you know that when you make and take the vows of marriage, you're actually promising God that you will forsake all others in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, till death do you part. You're not even promising the person that's standing next to you. You're promising God in front of witnesses that you will love this person. That person just happens to be in earshot. Come on now. I was talking to a friend of mine and his girlfriend, who he referred to as his wife. And she was all proud of the fact that he had said that. You know, this is my wife. And she's gleaming, you know, no ring on her finger. Hadn't been to church to first, right? And when I was talking to her, she said, well, you know, we don't have to go to the church or to the state to make this thing legitimate. He's my husband and I'm his wife. And he always talks like that. So I said, okay, you know, I hear you. And then I went to talk to him personally. You know, I was by myself when I talked to him. And I said, hey, man, how's things going with your girl? Oh, well, you know, they're getting better. But I told her, I said, if things don't straighten out by the time our lease ends, then I'm going my own separate way. Now, come on now. I know if I went home and said that to my wife, I'd be getting... They are not married. And believe me, it doesn't take a lot. I mean, I got married in my townhouse with 8 people and a preacher. Ecclesiastes 5:4 says, when you make a vow to God, do not delay in fulfilling it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. It is better not to vow than to make a vow and not fulfill it. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin. And do not protest to the temple messenger, my vow was a mistake. Why should God be angry at what you say and destroy the work of your hands? Come on now. Am I doing okay?
Yes.
Now that you're married in name, you need to be married in reality. Oh yes, that's what I said. And the two shall become one. That means one in purpose, one in finances, one in mind, body, and spirit, one in life and love, one in direction, one in everything. changes from mine to ours. Come on now. Amos 3:3 says, do two walk together unless they have agreed to do so? And let me say this. You can't leave because things get hard. No. In your marriage, you are going to need every piece of wisdom that is in this book to make it work.
Amen.
And because God has put you together, either by his direct will or his permissive will, Matthew 19 is what stands true. Turn to that for me so that we can see that ourselves. Pastor Nicole, you ever notice how I never get a lot of shouts? Or hallelujahs or amens?
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
Are we understanding this morning?
Yes. Yes.
Are we getting some word this morning?
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Getting a little bit more word than what we really want.
That's right.
That's why they said amen.
Say amen when you got it.
Amen.
19:4 says, haven't you read, he replied, that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female, and said, for this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man separate. That means you too. We're not talking about some of it. You can't separate what God has already put together.
That's right.
So when things get tough, there is no exit.
Amen.
There is no I'm through with this. Not from a biblical perspective.
That's right.
Because if you keep on reading, Jesus said, okay, so the Pharisees said, why then, they asked, did Moses command that a man give his wife a certificate of divorce and send her away? Jesus said, Moses permitted you to divorce your wives because your hearts were hard.
That's right. Amen. Yes.
That means you refused to look for the biblical solutions to your problems.
Mm-hmm.
Or you refused to conform to the renewing of your mind
Yes.
and look at things a little bit differently.